Hello, this is Jason with MathTutorDVD.com, and today we're going to learn how to use the TI-89 calculator. In specific, we're going to learn how to store variables and use those in calculations. It's a very simple process, but it's one of those things you don't typically dig out of your manual until you've already, used the calculator for so long. And it's something that if you know in the beginning, it can actually save you a lot of time. So let's go in and go to the home menu. Basically, what you need to know is all of these buttons down here have a letter above it. A, B, C, D, E, and so on, all the way to Z. Now, X, Y, and Z are actually up here on their own specific buttons, and also T, and that's just because these letters they're not really special. It's just that they're used a whole lot more often than some of these other letters. When you're graphing equations, you're always doing functions of X. If you're graphing three-dimensional equations, you'll use X, Y, and Z, and T is typically used for time a whole lot. So these letters are used so often they're given their own buttons. But it's the same thing as all of these other letters down here, and they can be used in the same way. So let's say you're doing a calculation and you just happen to know that you're using some velocity, let's say, that you're going to be using a lot. You're doing some problem and you have a velocity and you're going 5.12 meters per second, and you're plugging in 5.12 meters per second into these equations all day long, and you're really sick and tired of typing in 5.12 meters per second all the time. Well, what you can do is just put 5.12 on the stack like that and press this store button. This is what this means. STO means store. You press it and all you see is a little arrow. And what it's telling you is I want to store the value of 5.12 into some variable that I can do whatever I want. Let's say I want to store it in the letter A, just because that's just the one I think about. So I need to put A on the stack, and it's a letter, so I have to hit the alpha button. So I press that once, and then I hit this button to put A. So now when I hit execute, it's going to store this value into the variable that I've sort of created, A. So let me go ahead and hit enter, and what you get as a result is basically the value that you stored, and it's now here, and this means that it was successful. So let's clear this. Let's clear everything out. And so now if I'm calculating something with A, I can check the value that's in this variable A. If I just put it on the stack here and hit enter, is now 5.12. If I want to take A and add it to 5, then I can hit enter, and it's going to take the 5.12 and add 5 to it, and that's what you're going to get. If I'm going to do something more complicated, like let's say A minus 2 times A, and let's say I'm going to do something crazy and raise that to the second power, and then I hit enter, it's going to do all the math there, and I'm going to get a nice answer out of it. So it's not doing anything other